For me, it's always about how people treat people, their actions.
1,000,000%. You know what I mean?
It's about, man. Frank Warren phones me, you want to come down for an interview? So I came down for an interview. Do you think you can do super middleweight? I went, yes, I can get you a world title fight. It's in 3 weeks' time. I went, all right then. When it's against Michael Nunn, I went, yeah, no problem. And then I went, oh, wait a minute, I don't have a trainer. And people say, why? I say, wait a minute, the guy's the best fighter in the world, pound for pound. How good am I?
I can't say that the only thing that Chris Eubank Sr. had was markability, because that would be a grave injustice.
Why?
The man had a very, very big heart. The man had an incredible chin.
Yeah,
and he was skilled. Eubank Sr. was very, very skilled.
To somebody who shared the ring with him, I thought it was limited. I sparred Chris. For a week, he wouldn't spar me after that. So yeah, Darky told him to go back to Brighton. No, I don't rate Chris, never have. The thing what he had, it was marketability.
Charisma.
Because he lost a lot of fights, but got the decisions. What I see from being on that kind of like level, who he avoided, how he picked fighters.
Who did Chris Eubank Sr. avoid?
Me.
At what weight?
The difference, whatever way. So I got respect for Chris Eubanks. Don't think I don't have respect.
But yeah, I'm hearing you. But you're saying like he avoided you, yeah?
Yeah. I can't see him pulling out, but what Frank Warren did, then I was training to fight Mike McCallum up in Newcastle. And going to the weigh-in, I got told that Mike McCallum hasn't turned up.
It was when you're looking well, though, you know, Crawford.
Thank you. Thank you.
Looking well, my brother.
Tell him what you are. You're the spiritual what?
I'm the spiritual boxer.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's,
well,
people remember like what boxing does to people.
It was when Darren Hamilton was fighting Adil Anwar, and you and just came down to support. Who was he? Who's his trainer? Oh man, why's his name come up my head?
Basin.
Yeah, Mark Basin.
Yeah.
You came there to back Mark Basin, and like and me and
he don't remember.
But me and Mark Basin are very good friends. But yeah, his way.
No, I find that kind of like fascinating because maybe in mixed race, I've got a racist white side and I've got a militant black side, so I get confused a lot.
But that's the thing. The thing about it is this: I like people to realize that you're not mixed race. I mean, you're dual heritage. There's only one race. There's a human race. When we say we're mixed race, I hear that but look, there's one race.
I are bothered.
Listen, this is all gold. It's just
names. It just don't mean anything. Like you say, it's always for me. It's always about how people treat people, their actions.
1,000,000%. You know what I mean?
About, man.
Yeah, we get an intro because this is golden. I wish we'd have got this in the interview, to be honest with you. Guys, welcome to the 13th and final round in collaboration with Boxers and Knees. Real Talk with Spencer Fearon. We're back again. Donovan still taking the piss in Miami.
No, he's not. He's doing a
nice one, man.
But I'm here. I'm still representing, but this time around, I've got Crawford Ashley, the chilling one.
Yeah, and if you like the vibe, you know what to do.
Right. That's his saying that I stole. Former British, Commonwealth, European, and 3-time world title challenger.
And 3 different weights.
3 different weights.
Yeah.
2-time British, 2-time European.
Something like that.
We listen off camera, guys. We were having a great conversation. We're going to pick it back up. But listen, what did this man mean to you as a fighter?
Nothing.
No, Crawford Ashley. No, I can't tell her anything about. Like he stand out for me. Is like I don't know what he was doing when he boiled himself down to super middleweight to fight Michael Nunn for the WBA title. I thought that was crazy. I thought that was crazy. You know what I mean?
The thing is like I just walked out on Barney Eastwood.
Right.
And I are fighting for him again ever. Told him that. Frank Warren phones me up, want to come down for an interview. So I came down for an interview. And then when I got back, my phone rang. Do you think you can do super middleweight? I went, yeah. He says, you've got, I can get you a world title fight. It's in 3 weeks' time. I went, all right then. He went, it's against Michael Nunn. I went, yeah, no problem. And I went, oh, when? I don't have a trainer. And people say, why? I say, wait a minute. The guy's the best fighter in the world, pound for pound. How good am I? I don't know, but let's find out. That's why I took the fight. I'm in this game for me to find out how good I am.
Yeah.
And now of everybody I've ever boxed, he's the only one I don't know whether I could have beat. Everybody had stopped him if it had been on form, and I'd say 80% right. But with him, even if I was 100% right, I don't know if I could have beat him. And to have that, I'm so happy and so glad I got that. I reached that kind of like that level. Yeah. Because that's what we want to do, though. We want to get to the top of whatever we do.
100%. I can't take away from that. You know what I mean? Yeah. What was the fight? I remember the fight, you know. Oh, man. Rocky Jenny, when they robbed you.
Rocky Gianni, yeah.
Yeah. You know, some I took down 6 days' notice.
They robbed you. I remember that fight, you know. They robbed you.
I broke my hand.
That fight, brother.
I broke my hand in the 3rd round. And at the end of the fight, I don't even know what the result was. I says to him, can I have a rematch? And straight away he just went, I don't speak English. I just went, all right. Just like that, I don't speak English. I went, all right then. Just left it. But then he gave up, he wouldn't have a rematch. So that was good. That was interesting.
So there were Nunn and Rocky. What was the 3rd one?
Some people say Virgil Hill, but I'm not bothered about that one.
Well, the Virgin Hill? No. You know what your greatest win was? What do you think? What would you regard as your greatest win?
My greatest win was, yeah.
You see, there's a few. I thought my best win was against not Sebastian Ruffman, Roberto Dominguez.
Well,
yeah,
because
I disagree. I'll wait for you it is, but I'm gonna tell you.
And the reason behind that was he was number 4 in the WBC, I think it was, and I was number 2. And it wasn't a number 1. Number 1 was vacant. The champion was Roy Jones, and after the fight, I was ranked number 15. So after boxing, he never hit me once. That's why I thought it was my best performance.
Okay.
The jab worked perfectly. So,
what do you think?
His best win?
Yeah.
Carl Thompson.
Carl Thompson. Yeah, that's right.
I knew you were going to say
Carl Thompson, 1989. You can't. The reason being, now you're going to shake your head. That's good for you, but I'm giving you my opinion, right? Simply because Carl Thompson was an 8-0 pro then, yeah? I think it was 8-0, 9-0 pro, banging out everybody, yeah? And they stuck you in with him, and Carl Thompson was a cruiserweight, you know?
Yeah.
Right? So it was a kind of like it was kind of like a catch-weight fight between you two, because Crawford was always like a healthy light heavyweight. And I was like, he was only a few fights in. It was 1989, that fight there. Because remember, after that, Carl Thompson went and broke up Nicky Piper. Remember, he knocked out Nicky Piper. I remember that was seconds out. When boxing them days, we'd get on ITV. So now, to me, for you to beat him then at that age, at that young, where you both young pros as well, knowing like what Carl Thompson went on to go and do, it's amazing that Carl Thompson doesn't get the credit that he gets for beating David Hay, who is blasting everybody. You know, he beat Chris Eubank Senior twice as well. No, that to me, that's your best win for me.
Listen, I need to say something. This man's he's still looking for Chris Eubank Senior. He needs to fight. He wants to get Johnny Senior.
No,
he avoided him.
he did. I sparred Chris for a week. He wouldn't spar me after that. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, Darky told him to go back to Brighton. So, no, I don't rate Chris, never have.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, the thing what he had was marketability.
Charisma.
Because he lost a lot of fights but got the decisions.
Yeah.
And that's to keep him in the picture. But like I said, I don't rate him. And he got 4 or 5 opponents that he could pick and choose which one he got. Because that's what Barry Earns told me.
Okay.
He says to me something about you want easy fights. So I went, no, I don't. I want a hard fight so I can learn. He looked at me like I was an idiot because that's what they do with certain people. Pick and choose fights, styles that they can win. And when he's close, to give him the decision.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say, I can't say that the only thing that Chris Eubank Sr. had was marketability, because that would be a grave injustice.
Why?
The man had a very, very big heart. The man had an incredible chin.
Yeah,
And he was skilled. Eubank Sr. was very, very skilled.
Because some you shared the ring with him, I thought it was limited.
Yeah, but you're skilled yourself, so you can have that opinion.
Yeah, you can have the levels, but
Right. Yeah, I mean, you can have that opinion because you're a world-class fighter.
Yeah.
But I can't sit down and turn around and take anything away from Chris Eubank
Right.
Senior, because Chris Eubank Senior is a great boxing all-time great. I mean, just as was it 21 world title fights? You can't knock that. Come on.
but you might listen. That's what he did though.
We see things differently. And that's all I can say. It's like what I see from being on that kind of like level, who we avoided, how we picked fighters to I always pick fighters to suit his style.
Who did Chris Eubank Senior avoid?
Yeah?
Who did he avoid?
Me.
At what weight?
Me.
What weight did he
Whatever way,
avoid?
it make no difference, whatever way. Super
No, but the thing about it is this, and this is me with the greatest respect to you, Crawford Ashley,
I
right?
got respect for Chris Eubanks. Don't think I don't have respect.
Right, yeah, I'm hearing you, but you're saying like he avoided you, yeah?
Yeah.
At the time, right? So we're talking like 91, 92 times, yeah?
I ain't got a clue. Don't get just
Right.
let me both win
Right.
it's fine.
All right. So
Now next week.
right. So I'm saying to you, you're saying that he avoided you. Chris Eubank Senior was an immense star, right? So the word avoid, I'm saying if your name was bigger within the boxing trade, your name was big, but on the global scene, it wasn't big. So he was looking at it like, why on earth would I fight this man who I've sparred with, who gives me trouble in sparring? Why on earth would I want to go mix with this Rasta man? I don't want to do this.
No. Because to me, boxing is about testing yourself.
Yeah, for you, but it's not.
No.
But everyone's different, though, isn't it?
No, but what I'm trying to say, this is what I think's lost in boxing.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? You can go in and lose a fight and come out a better fighter. I think we can against Mayweather. He jumped levels straight away. We go on too much about having an unbeaten record and a protected career.
I hear you.
Can that make you a great? If it's like Tyson Fury will never be a great, and it's simple. Who's he ever beat? All he's ever beat has been bums, like he said. To become a great, you have to beat great fighters. You can't become a great by beating bums.
Right. So would you regard Nigel Benn as a great?
Yeah.
And Chris Eubank Senior, right? Was that was November of 1990, and the Birmingham NEC beat him. He stopped him,
And then I got a draw. Yeah.
It doesn't matter about the draw. I'm saying, but he beat him. He stopped Nigel Benn when Nigel Benn was this tyrannical monster.
No, you're right. The thing is.
So
like,
only using your words, there's got a bit of a contradiction there.
No,
so
just because you beat a great once, you might be having an off night. We all know what it's like to have an off night in the ring when nobody knows.
So you're saying
until you're in the ring. But why didn't he have 3 fights And let's
Well,
find out. 'Cause
but you're saying,
no, the second fight was not a draw.
no, he lost the
The
second fight. No,
was not
he
a
lost the
draw.
second.
I was
Ben should have won the second one.
The second fight was not a draw. That was a disgrace. Just like Ray Close and Sam Story both beat him. Just didn't get the decision.
Yeah.
Now, if them two would have gone against him, Dan Sherry, the man got 2 points took off and won. It's like, sure, man, you lost. And I remember the commentator said, I thought you lost that fight. And Chris said, which fight were you watching? And the bird at the time says, you lost 3. I just cracked out.
All right, I remember that fight.
Yeah.
Jumping in the ring.
I get what you're saying.
This is the biggest bit of action I've seen outside of the theater. I remember that. but regardless of you saying about the Cherry fight or all the rest of it, I say when it was time for Chris Eubank Sr. to turn up, he would turn up.
No,
right?
No,
right. He would turn up. And yes, and he was very fortunate on certain decisions, yeah? But that's because of what the man brought to the table. He brought a lot to the table, right? Similar to Muhammad Ali, when Muhammad Ali, we could turn around and say, right, you know what? You lost the Jimmy Young fight. You lost the Ken Norton fight. I'm talking the third fight where they had at Yankee Stadium. You could say that you lost those fights, but because they were so big, their energy as they enter the ring, they had a presence about them, and it was for the system because they know they're bringing a lot of dough into the game. So
let me say so. Let me
there's 3 rounds up at the start.
Let me say something, right? Because I know he's a fighter at heart. He'll just fight. That's what he is. That's his makeup, right? One thing Chris understood, and this is before social media, back at a time, he understood the difference between professional boxing and prize fighting. Okay, he could fight. He had a heart, but also knew risk v reward. Him fighting you, it's like Junior Witter fighting Ricky Hatton. It's like, why would anyone want to fight Harold Graham? It's like risk v reward.
There's another one he avoided.
For you, I get it. You want to fight. You want to test yourself against best. But there's some fighters who understand the business side of it as well and being financially skilled when they get out. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, I understand that. No,
he made good decisions financially. We've got to give him that.
Listen, no, I'm not that we're saying good financial decisions. Chris Eubank Sr., you have to put some respect on that man's name, brother. The guy was a serious competitor, right? For him to, like, what was that? September of 91, when he gets off the floor and he gets up and he stops.
Watson.
Yeah. People don't, like, because of what happened after the fight, why we don't talk about that fight is great because that was an excellent fight. It was an excellent fight, and he showed something that you can't do that, you know. That's there. That's spiritual.
But he had heart for days, Eubank.
Yeah.
Give him that. Well, all I'm trying to say is, I know what he's like. He's like, get me to fight. Tell me how much I'm getting paid after. That's what he's like.
Right. Yeah. And I get that, and I respect that greatly. Yeah, because that's the fight. That's our humanistics, right? What Chris Eubank was very good at, he merged the side of being business. I think when Chris Eubank was a little youth, no doubt he must have watched guys like Giant Haystacks and Mick Manus from I know you used to watch the wrestling on a Saturday as well on ITV. I know you did Crawford, right? The rest, he watched the bad personas. Yeah. He watched guys like Jack Johnson saying, well, I'm going to angle this, you know, I'm going to angle this so it can be me. I'm going to dress a certain way. I'm going to carry myself a certain way. I'm going to annoy the public.
He's playing the character.
Yeah, he did. He played the character so much that he became the character. So we can't knock what I'm saying, what Chris Eubank.
I'm not knocking him.
So we're clear. One of the reasons I started boxing was Chris Eubanks. I love Chris Eubanks.
Okay.
I love Chris Eubanks. And then Naz came slightly after that. Muhammad Ali, Eubanks, and Naz and Eubanks my era, but Ali is why I started loving boxing. Like, all I'm saying is, I know what he's like. He wanted to fight. And he still wants, he still have to fight now. Do you know what I mean?
No, because for me, it's one of the hardest things. How can you be named as a great fighter if great fighters will fight you?
I understand that.
Because if I'm in a game to get to the top of it, and I'm getting held back by everybody, by promoters, by frigging fighters.
Politics.
By the politics of it. It's fucking annoying. And
I understand that. I understand
the
that.
most annoying things out is the public missed some great fights. Because there'd be some frigging great fights for the people I was supposed to fight. Mike McCallum.
What, you was meant to fight Mike McCallum?
Mike McCallum, I was supposed to fight him twice, 2 occasions, never happened.
Pulled out on him.
Who pulled out of it?
Callum.
No, right.
Wait there, stop for a second.
No, right. This is what I'm going to tell you now, right?
Go on.
I can't see him pulling out, but what Frank Warren did, then I was training to fight Mike McCallum.
Okay.
Up in Newcastle. And going to the weigh-in, I got told that Mike McCallum hasn't turned up. I went, what? He said, don't worry about it, I've got you a fight. I phoned my man, I told him, give all the people the money back for the tickets. He ain't coming up to watch this fight.
Who was it? Who did he fight?
I fought a guy called Ray Kane. Ray Kane stopped him in 2 rounds. And it was an unbeaten cruiserweight. But I was gutted because he shouldn't have been in the ring with me that night. It should have been Mike McCallum. So did Frank pull a fast one? Or did Mike McCallum not turn up? Now, another one, Tommy Hearns. 3 times Tommy Hearns pulled out. 3 times. So
was that when he came over and fought on there's a Nassim
Nasby Ingle.
Yeah.
I said there was 3 occasions he pulled out. Last time they had to give me $10,000 before I'd even go into training because he pulled out. I mean, last day of training in Tenerife, I got a phone call telling me the fight's off. And they said I pulled out with a shoulder injury. So it's like, there was a guy in the day, Eddie Smulders, fast Eddie Smulders, European champion, pulled out with me 3 times, won't find me. So getting all these things that you're preparing for and people pull out, the other one who's always down, you lose. And then as soon as something comes up, you want to get it. You want to jump at it, snap at it. Why? Because it's an opportunity. You're not even in the right condition because you can't afford to keep training and nothing comes up.
Right, but I can get back to John when he said Mike McCallum pulled out, yeah? I have to get on John. You're not saying that. I know, I'm cool. That's cool. Cool for asking, you're a legend. I'm cool. I'm getting back to John with his 13th cap on about Mike McCallum pulled out. Mike McCallum's one of the greatest fights in the last 6 years.
I know.
That's a disrespect, brother.
You know, the first time I saw Mike McCallum is box Michael Watson. And after the first round, I said to my brother, I'd like to box him. This guy, went, you mad, he's good. I said, that's why I want to fight him, because he's good.
Yeah, all the respect to the world.
I'm not
all the respect to the world, Chief.
People who don't.
Yeah, man, that was April 1990 at Royal Albert Hall when Mike McCallum beat Michael Watson for the WBA.
I personally
middleweight championship. In the 11th round, he stopped him.
I personally think that was the damage that did to Michael Watson was done.
I totally agree with you. Because the body shots that Michael Watson took in there and then little uppercuts through the middle. Michael Watson will have a different story saying like, no, Nigel Benn was just a serious punch and all, but I believe that it was the damage that he took in that fight. That he brought into the second Eubank fight that damaged him. I believe it was that.
That was it, yeah.
You're special, Mike McCallum.
No, incredible technician.
Well, again, like I said, to be in the ring with them type of people, it's a different experience. Because there's like they said, there's levels, and it's like when I was in with Nunn, somebody asked me a question, when did I know I was in trouble? I said, I never thought I was in trouble. I just wanted to hit him, man. I couldn't hit him. I just missed him. You know, when somebody rides a shot and they take on a shot. And it's frustrating. And it's thingy, but then it's like, I just need to be a little bit quicker. Then you overbalance and then you take 2 or 3 and if you know, how did you do that?
Yeah.
But you're learning as you're going on, you're seeing this and in there with some delight that it's just, I was privileged.
Yes.
Some of that So glad I went in and took it.
Not many people could say they've done that.
Yeah.
Just a nice place to be for a while until then you brought the ribs and then well.
I remember that fight. What fight was it where you knocked the guy in the first round and he didn't even get shot off? You were just so smooth in that fight.
Oh, Jimmy Peters.
Have you seen that fight? I'm gonna send you that fight.
Send me that fight. I'm more than likely have, I'm more than likely have. But
It's poetry in motion. I showed my wife. My wife don't even like boxing. If you notice my boxing shows, she sat there watching Korean drama. She's not even interested in what's going on. That's why she's the best cameraman, right?
No, but people don't.
But I showed her that fight, and she's like, "Wow, it's like he's just flowing and dancing. It's just his hands and his feet going." Because when you see fighters nowadays, I'm so frustrated with the fighters nowadays. They just don't move their feet.
why are you frustrated? I'm not frustrated.
They're just flat-footed.
Yeah, well, why should you be frustrated of another man's shortcomings? I don't get frustrated over those things.
Because
Those people that can't do. You know why? I'm gonna tell you why.
Yeah.
Because you know the mistakes that they're making, so then it's somebody like yourself to go and correct them. Or
That's
get
what
an
I'm doing.
account.
But when I'm in the gym training fighters, I don't move the feet. I get frustrated. Like, move your feet.
Right. Yeah, but it's different though, because you come from the Brendan Ingle stable, so then you knew, like, to move, you know what I mean? Footwork was key, was paramount. Footwork was key, and he worked at a system. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, I don't care this is what Dominic and John Ingle turn around and say. I remember years ago, I did an interview with Harold Graham, and I said, I don't believe that Irishman taught Harold Graham that footwork.
No.
Right? I'm just going to be real. I think that Harold Graham brought that footwork there, and he adapted it. That's the truth. And that's not me speaking ill of the dead.
I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree.
Right?
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Right?
Yeah.
That's the honest truth. But because he was an Irishman, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I know that you watched the movie Sinners, yeah? You watched it, yeah?
No.
You ever watched the movie Sinners?
It's Michael
B. Jordan.
Michael B. It's good.
Right.
He got an Oscar for it. I want to watch it. Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
But in there, there's a scene in it where the Irish vampire is doing the Irish jig, right? And it's only from a time where, like, before I used to be very, very cynical of the rhythmic motion of our Caucasian European brothers, right? Until I started to watch guys like Michael Flackley, Fred Astaire, and then I saw Sinners and watched them do the Irish jig and to see the rhythmic motion in that. I was saying maybe Brendan Ingle did teach you that footwork, Right, yeah.
But I've got Irish in me as well, so that's probably why.
No, but back in my day, we was always taught to move.
Yeah.
First thing was to do was your footwork. And we was told this, if you're getting hit, you're doing something wrong. Move.
Move, yeah.
That's simple.
Keep it moving. You know.
1 second, gentlemen.
He's off for a piss.
Where was we?
1 second.
Anyway, we'll start this conversation. Listen, let's talk about what you think. You've got to say something about Naz and Johnny this week.
Have you seen on that talk sport?
You know what?
Can I have your honest opinion of Naz?
My honest opinion of Nassim Hamed.
Yeah.
The person that I know isn't a person that you lot are seeing on the cameras.
Mm.
You know what I mean? When he's there off his mouth and all the rest of it, I don't know that person. I'm sorry, I'm just going to be real with you. I don't know him. Every time I see him, it's great respect and love, right? I'm just keeping this thing 100. But the person that I see when he's just gunning everyone, done Ben Whitaker, gunning Johnny Nelson, saying that and all the rest of it, and blah, 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 when I don't know that person, right? But what I am going to say is this. It's man like Clifton Mitchell and Kevin Anderson, right, who helped embellish the ego of Nassim Hamed when he was coming through. Because you remember, I can't remember what fight it was, but Kevin and Clifton were doing a little buck dance in the background, doing a little, all that kind of foolishness. I'm saying, brother, you're embellishing a man's ego here, So I'm just keeping this thing 100. I'm saying, like, and don't get twisted, Kevin is my friend. Clifton Mitchell was my very close friend. We're actually distantly related. I'm saying, nah, them kind of buck dancing, I don't agree with that. And it's those kind of things that kind of embellished his ego, right? There's certain times where you have to know when to leave the stage.
Yes.
There's certain times. And when you've retired from the game and you're a wealthy man, you got your faculties, right? You've won. I want Nassim Hamid to realize things. So, brother, all right, then you lost against Barrera, and people and you know the general consensus is, but if it was the Naz that was with Brendan Ingle, we'd have beaten Barrera. Right. There was a time when Naz at his pinnacle was on another level. It was stratospheric how he was going on, right? But there's certain times where you also got to sit down and think to yourself, like you shooting shots at Johnny, right? When I know there's been some personal in the past between you two as well, right? Which we're not going to get into, but I know that you guys know, right?
Yeah.
Johnny hasn't come out with that. Johnny hasn't blasted you on those kind of things. Johnny hasn't, you know what I mean? So on those kind of things, I'm saying like, Nassim Hamid, you have won. You got beautiful wife, you got beautiful children, and you're financially well off, right? Mm-hmm. So the thing that got you to where you got to, you're there already, you reached it. You don't have to be that person no more. You don't have to be dismissive or cool, because I'm going to be real. Johnny Nelson, right, has transitioned himself properly, right? He's transitioned himself from a person that was an also rival. We didn't think he's going to go do nothing in his pro career to go out and then become world champion after warring us to death in 1990 against Carlos De Leon, which was right, Crawford. If you have trouble going to sleep, just watch that fight.
I was good. Now I came back to watch him.
I'm Sheffield, right?
No.
Right. It was right. Exactly. That was right. So to see him and then he get another world title shot, right, against Jane Warren, and that was another piece of drama rubbish, right? For him going out and getting knocked out in France, I think in France, all these kind of things, you got to give Johnny Nelson all the credit in the world for what he went out and accomplished. And I'm not going to turn around and say it was the sake of Nassim Hamid.
No, right? I'm going to say something. I look at Johnny as a great.
Okay.
You know what I mean? There's differences. Everything he went through, all his losses, he came back and went on to become the pinnacle. And after that, leaving boxing, becoming a really good pundit as well. So
I think
the man.
I'll put my hand up and wait. I want to say something after. Go on, Spec.
No, what are you going to talk about? You're going to talk about his 1988 fight with Johnny Nelson when he came up second best against Johnny.
Well, is that what you're going to... I didn't come up second best against Johnny, right? There's no way I came up second best against Johnny.
Well, you got robbed.
No, I'm not going to say I got robbed. He beat me down on my stupidity. He got inside my head and I walked onto a punch and he put me on the floor. I got up and I lost by half a point. So if he didn't put me down because of my frigging ego, he was saying, "Oh, you fucked now." I said, "I'm not fucked now. I'll show you who's fucked," and walk straight onto a punch, man.
Rasta man.
Down I went, "Oh, you idiot. Why did I let him get in the head?"
That's part of the game, though.
Well, that's part of the game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Taught me a lot. You ain't getting inside my head. You can't get inside my head at the press conference or in the ring. And that was down to Johnny. So, you know.
Well, boy, so this is what I'm trying to say. You regard Johnny Nelson as a great, but you don't regard Chris Eubank Sr. as a great.
No.
But then I got to disagree. You know what I mean? Because in the analogs of history...
know why, though? Because he avoided him.
No, right. No, right, cool. No, but I'm saying in the analogs of history, Chris Eubank Sr. is going to go down as a higher ranking British great than Johnny Nelson. You do realize that, right?
Yeah, but you got to remember, 99% of the population don't know fuck all about boxing.
No, but the population don't need to know. I didn't know about boxing.
You know, the best thing about
I'm a historian, and I could bury anyone historically. I'm just calling out things that I could bury most people historically. Chris Eubank Sr. is going to go down as a greater champion than what Johnny Nelson was. Even though Johnny Nelson made 14 defenses of his world title, he's Britain's second longest reigning world champion.
Yeah, all right. Then. But then again, if you look back at the record,
13.
Sorry, there's one draw, right? But he still made those defenses, right? But we can't knock Johnny Nelson. But I'm telling you that Eubank Sr. is going to go down as a greater fighter.
I did say some right now.
Okay, who do you think is one of the best fighters to come out of Britain? Best boxers?
Before we move on, I need to say something about Johnny, though.
Who's one of the best boxers?
Yeah, to come out of Britain. The
Come out of Britain.
Yeah, the man that never gets a mention when it comes up. I want to see if you're going to mention him. You can have a top
best fight that's never mentioned.
Yeah.
And he became a world champion?
In my belief, yeah.
And became world champion?
Yeah.
John Connie.
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm telling you. John Connie. He doesn't get mentioned.
No. That's one of them, but there's another one.
Colin McMillan.
He won 3 world titles.
Drew McKenzie.
Drew McKenzie.
Yes.
Right.
That's the boy.
Right.
You see, he should get flowers. 3 world titles at 3 different weights.
No, but Duke does get flowers now. Duke gets his flowers now. He's beginning to get his flowers.
Listen,
now.
I'm gonna get Duke to join us next week.
All right, cool. Duke gets his flowers. No one can't. No one can't knock Drew McKenzie.
I agree with you 100%.
Listen, I gotta say something about Johnny Storm and move on.
Go on.
Listen, I was in the gym with Naz and Johnny at the same time when they were training, right? And for me, the reason I went to Brendan Ingalls is because of Naz. That's the truth. I didn't know Brendan, I knew Naz. I went there because of Naz. Then I fell in love with Brendan Ingalls. Like, people say, why did you support Manchester United? Because of Eric Cantona and then Alex Ferguson. Alex Ferguson was the manager, right? For me, John is a success story of the Ingalls because he's a success story of losing and never giving up. I mean, lost his first professional fights, lost a lot of his open amateur fights, but kept on going and kept on going and kept on going. He's the first person to ever give me a job. When I was 16, he gave me a job as a security guard on York races. And the Johnny that I see on and off camera is consistent. I only have Johnny for me only has one weakness. Sometimes it's hard to get older. It's like blue ticks, you can't get hold of the guy, right? But he's busy. But how he's transformed himself, I would say that he's more known now than when he boxed.
Yeah, of course he is. Of course he is, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Transformed.
You know what makes Johnny? I'll tell you what makes Johnny Nelson, yeah? Is like, I'm talking from my own personal experiences, right? I remember I did 10 years at Sky. Yeah, 10 years at Sky, me and Johnny Nelson I used to give to Johnny hard when I was at Sky. I'd always call Johnny a little Uncle Tom sellout, always. You know what I mean? But it's just me.
Company man.
Yeah. No. But if you're a company man, you're Uncle Tom sellout, right? So I'd say this regular to Johnny, yeah? But I'm just winding. No, check this one out. I'm just going to be real. This is an in-house joke. This is like cultural identity joking with cultural identity, right?
Yeah.
But I remember some of the seniors at Sky would get upset when I would call Johnny that.
Yeah.
Right? But I'm saying it's not for you to say what you're being upset about because you won't understand. It's a cultural thing. It's not for you to try and understand this thing. You know what I mean? It's like if Clifton Mitchell, I would joke with Clifton a lot and call him a bacon dread. Because remember when Clifton Mitchell used to have dreadlocks and I always tease and say, I know you damn pork. So I mean, but and Crawford actually saying fire bun park when I'm yam that.
No,
right?
because the same my mate used to say that to me. You eat your bacon, man. What's wrong with you wearing your dress?
You don't eat meat no more.
You know what I mean? And for years and never, but when you're a kid, you have to. You know, when you're from like, you get what you get given.
You don't eat no cow foot.
I don't eat none of that nonsense, man.
You don't eat meat? You don't eat meat now? Oh, okay. That's why you look so well, man.
He's a vegan.
Okay. Well, have a look at the food industry. They're poisoning your food, man.
1,000,000% they are. 1,000,000% they are.
They want to keep you sick and on tablets and docile so you can't live your life, man. Everybody come quiet.
Nah, you know why? That open up window is a freaking fly that's coming in my house. It's winding me up.
No.
Well,
They wind you up, man.
listen, Johnny Nelson's a good guy, man.
No, 1,000,000%. Let me tell you this.
And Naz, listen, you're right what you're saying as well, because the Naz that I knew in the gym, off camera, I tried to remember that guy, right? One thing I'll say about Naz, and people watching, so this might get back to him, right? I do agree with this one thing that Johnny said. I think if you have people in your life that always are yes, and cannot pull you up and cannot point your blind spots out, you can't evolve as a human being. I need people in my life that say, John, you're wrong there. You're right there. Can I pull you up on this? Can I see this? I don't think Naz has that in his life where people can pull him up.
He can't have that in his life.
And Naz, I'll tell you this for now, They've gone off.
No, keep talking.
No, I'm here.
Yeah.
Naz is a copy. It's not
No grim.
It's not an original. Do you know who the original is?
No, who's the original? Hector Camacho.
Straight away, Hector Camacho.
The camera's off, you know.
Soon as it, because
No, Hector Camacho is who he copied. No 1 million.
Yes.
He loves him.
yeah.
He loves him.
No, I don't like Naz.
No,
wait a minute.
Nacho, you like him.
I don't have nothing against Naz, but the fact that you copied Hector,
There's one guy
the ring walks and the style.
There's one guy I showed him in it, and he didn't recollect him. Jorge Paez.
Yeah, Jorge Paez, former featherweight champion of the world, was an exceptional fight.
Oof, he was good, man.
Wow. Well, I've got. Wait a minute, I think that name can.
Jorge Paez was slick, man. Naz could have arguably been influenced a lot by that as well.
It was.
Yeah.
I mean, it was. But end of the day, Naz put his spin on it, and he took it very, very far, and he made ridiculous amounts of money.
The difference was the power he could hit.
Yeah.
But that's what I say about a lot of people. So boxers were mad.
Mm.
But you have to embrace that madness because that's what makes you great. When
Yeah.
you look at, you know what I mean, Naz is as mad as a natter. Usyk, mad as a natter. But they don't try and hide it. You know what I mean? This is who we are. And you have to be mad to want to box. So we embrace that madness. Because it's sure that makes you a world champion. Because we all know how to throw a jab. We all know how to throw combinations. We all know how to move our feet.
Mm.
It's how we put it together. It's how we mix it up.
Mm.
And that's down to you. That's but nobody can give you that. That's that special thing.
You miss boxing?
No. I miss the challenges. I don't miss the training. I miss the fighting, which is weird, innit? But I've got a really great idea. And I think 30 seconds round, 5-minute rests. And I'll be up for that.
I don't even know if he's joking or not. He keeps a straight face when he says things.
Then where you think so?
Yeah.
Old men, 30 seconds, 5-minute rest.
You'll be up for that, Spencer.
Not me, bro. I'm happily retired, bro. Not me.
I'm like you. I'm happily retired. I've got nothing to prove.
Bro, you've done it. You fought for world titles. You've been in with some of all-time greats.
I mean, like, I'm happy. And that's the main thing.
And Roy Jones Jr. avoided you as well, didn't he?
Like I said, it proves it with the record. You know, when I first met Barney Eastwood, he asked me a question, how would you get in the top 10? I said, you fight somebody in the top 10. He went, no, I make a phone call. I went, why did I get dropped out in the top 10? Because somebody made a phone call. It's that simple.
Well, you know what? We grow. You know what I mean? We grow.
There's life after boxing. Listen, there's life after boxing, right? Tell Spencer, because he don't know everything. To be honest, I haven't really told him much. Tell him where your life's been at the last year and where you're at now and how boxers need help you.
Oh man, I've been in some dark places, man. Real dark places. I ended up being homeless for about 8 months. I had a friend who would pump me up. But you know what it's like when you're staying at somebody's house, it's not good.
No, it's not.
And then I think it was Callum.
Callum Simpson.
Yeah, got in touch with.
Yeah, Callum Simpson rang me, yeah.
And then John rang Peter. And then Peter rang this lady called Kim Padgett.
Peter Fury.
She's excellent. She's a lovely, lovely woman.
Yeah.
And she kind of like, served me a few times. Phoned me up when I was sat on a bench just contemplating, what's the point? She just phoned me up just out of the blue, started talking to her, forgot about it, went for a walk, and now I've got a flat. I've got somewhere where I'm staying. So, yeah, getting back on my feet. But now, once I get settled in, my head will be going, trying to change the state of the British boxing at the moment, because I think he needs a big shake-up.
He's got some ideas.
You know what? It's good. It's good that you received that help. And you know, the major thing is this. It's like with help, sometimes like people feel embarrassed to ask for help. You know what I mean?
I think the reason for that is because people automatically assume that it's money. It's like I said to an ex-fighter, I just said to him, could you do me a favour? He went, no, I've got nothing. I went, no, mate, I've just got a channel. I'd just like you to subscribe to it. I'm not asking you for any frigging money. But straight away, I got no on me. And the thing is when we need help, it's what kind of help do you need? I needed help dealing with authority because I can't deal with authority. Never have been able to, never could.
Making phone calls to the local council,
Talking to
trying to get a house and things.
I mean, I'd rather, right, well, I did walk the street for a bit. But when you got somebody on that case who's willing to do that for you, that's great. It's just a little bit of time. What do you need? How can I help you? You know what I mean? Where do I go? What do I do?
Well,
I ain't got a clue.
Well,
But you put me in a boxing ring, I know exactly what I'm doing in a boxing ring, but living in society is very, very difficult and confusing.
well, you come through the other side. You've got your trainer's license now as well.
Yeah, so it's gone. My man's gone.
No, I'm here, man. I'm here.
Yeah, but listen, the main thing is you pulled through and you've got direction in your life now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, now.
And you've got a lot more to give.
Training my boy.
Tell him about his son. His son's going to be making a pro debut soon.
Yeah.
Okay. What weight's the son doing, Crawford?
Cruiserweight.
Okay.
Cruiserweight, and he can just a little few more things to work on, and then he's off.
He's got that. I've seen him. He's got that chilling jab. You remember his jab? He's got that.
Yeah.
He's got that jab. He's got that thing going. I've seen him.
It's one of them. I want him to be, seen, but I don't want him handpicked.
You want him in proper fights?
I want him in hard, proper fights. Let's find out where you're at very early, very quickly. People say, well, why waste our time? If he's a level too soon, then okay, can you come on? Can you move on to the next step? Would you improve? Well, if not, don't be in the game because you're going to get hurt. It's simple. So I'd rather find out very early on because it's not an horrible sport. It's a dangerous sport. You can get hurt on many different sides, emotionally, physically, mentally. So people don't realize that.
Listen, while we're all here, last question, and we'll wrap up for today. AJ Fury signed. Do you believe it or do you not believe it? For me, I need to see him in the ring to believe it.
I don't care. I really don't care. It lost all its appeal 10 years ago.
Nah, I do care, and I'm glad that it's happening. And simply because, and especially if the fight's in the UK, and like you've seen Turkey Al Sheikh is trying to push for the fight to be in the UK, like it's still a big fight. And it's a big fight because of sentimental reasons, right? And it will get the whole of the British public out. And it will bring an atmosphere and it will bring a buzz around boxing that if you look on things right now, we're getting a little bit of a dip, right? We are getting a little bit of a dip. From all of the hype with Riyadh season and everything else, we're getting a dip. I think this is the fight that will bring everything right back up to its standpoint for the British boxing fan. Because remember, the pugilistic arts, as we have today in with the Queensberry rules, originated in this fine country. So to see two big men, two heavyweight men fighting, and you never know. Usyk could get stripped of a title and then the title be given to one of these guys so they could be fighting for actually for a World Heavyweight Championship as well. I think this fight's very, very important to happen simply because it'll be the champion of themselves. Whoever wins that fight will be the champion of each other. I think it's a great fight. Yes, it should have happened 10 years ago. Totally agree. But it didn't happen 10 years ago. But the two men, even though they ain't what they used to be, right? They're not the greatest, but right now they're the latest. So I'm gonna grab that fight. I'm gonna enjoy it. I'm gonna enjoy to watch that fight simply because of the things that Anthony Joshua at this present moment is going through and has to overcome, and the things that Tyson Fury in the past has overcome. Yeah, I think it's the right time for this fight. It's the right time of the wrong time for this fight to happen.
I'm glad that AJ's got a warm-up fight.
Yeah, you know what? It is. And I remember recently Eddie Hearn was saying, we're not going to be happy about who we choose is going to be complaints. There's no complaints on my behalf on this, right? Let AJ have his little blowout fight and then let AJ have the fight against Tyson Fury, right? And let them two just settle it so that it's done and dusted and then they both can settle off into the sunset. Yeah. But that's what I'm looking forward to.
Exactly. I can't say that it's mine. He came up with it. I'll give him credit for it. We're going to end it. If you like the vibe,
remember to subscribe.
Peace, two fingers, I'm out. Pleasure speaking to you, Crawford.
13th and the final round.
13th and final round.
18th final round.
Hit the comment.
Hit that subscribe button.
Hit that subscription button.